Hi guys, it's Arshia again. Let's see what's in Under the Skin news this week. Now, I don't want to throw too much information at you or make you feel like the world is a dark and hopeless place. But honestly, it's hard to ignore what we're seeing. Tonight's World Cup ceremony, from the game to every single detail, is a satanic ritual for biggest sacrifices in the world over the next year. So, why? Take a look at this. This photo of Lamine Yamal and Lionel Messi was taken back in 2007, 19 years ago. At that time, Messi was wearing Barcelona's number 19 shirt. Later, he switched to the famous number 10 for both Barcelona and Argentina. Now, Yamal wears number 19 for Spain and number 10 for Barcelona. The World Cup final is scheduled for July 19th. Messi was born on June 24th. Yamal was born on July 13th. There are exactly 19 days between their birthdays. And Yamal is also 19 years old. Here's another interesting detail. In 2026, the age difference between Messi and Yamal is 20 years, 2 weeks, and 6 days. Also, 2026 is the year of the horse. Back in 2024, Adidas released an image showing a goat and a young goat, which is a symbol for Messi 10 and Yamal 19. What we're seeing is the passing of the torch, just like we've seen many times before in the entertainment industry and famous people. And this is the huge ritual, a great ritual of sacrifice with number 19. Now, something more satanic. Why does this year's World Cup have 48 teams? When I found out that this World Cup would have 48 teams instead of the usual 32, I suspected it was connected to the birth of Israel, known as the Beast. So, as always, I checked the numbers. Just as I expected, the World Cup final will take place exactly 666 days before the 80th anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel. 2. The curse of the 8th decade is the idea that no independent Jewish state in history has lasted more than 80 years without falling apart in a civil war or being conquered by a foreign power. This is directly linked to Tisha B'Av, the holiest day of mourning in Jewish tradition, when both the first and second temples were destroyed. Tisha means 9th, and Av is the 11th month, making it 9/11. The Jews are now living through this curse. 3. You saw the news about Lindsey Graham's death, right? And you thought it was just a normal news story. Lindsey Graham was born on July 9th, 7/9. He died on July 11th, 7/11. 9/11. Graham died 11 days before Tisha B'Av 2026, the destruction of the temple. Tisha B'Av falls on July 22nd to 23. According to this interpretation, Graham was a sacrifice. His death helped them complete the ritual. 4. Madonna and Shakira will perform the first ever FIFA halftime show. Madonna, for obvious reasons, is seen as the perfect symbol of Crowley's Whore of Babylon. Madonna's Madame X tour began 666 days before the historic total solar eclipse of 2024. The two historic eclipses were exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days apart. The first COVID vaccine was given exactly halfway between them. During a total solar eclipse, the sun's corona appears. Madonna's Eurovision performance had an apocalyptic theme. It included images of America's fall, gas masks, Masonic pillars, and dancers wearing satanic robes. At the end of the performance, the dancers walk up a staircase and appear to fall into a pit. Israel and Palestine were also shown. The performance ends with the words, "Wake up." 5. The conclusion. The World Cup was expanded to 48 teams. Satanic rituals are carried out throughout the event. The 48-team format makes the tournament longer. So the final takes place exactly 666 days before the 80th anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel. According to this interpretation, the World Cup's satanic ritual had only one purpose: to remove the 8th decade curse from the Jewish state. These weren't just theories. Maybe you still don't believe it because you haven't seen it with your own eyes. Take a look at this. Madonna's tour began 1,666 days before the historic total solar eclipse of 2024. The two historic eclipses were exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days apart. The first COVID vaccine was given to people exactly halfway between those two eclipses. During a total solar eclipse, they created coronavirus. Then, between the two eclipses, the first COVID vaccine is given. It was meant to create energy for their power while weakening the rest of the world. Look closely at this image. Doesn't it look familiar? These two teams reached the final in the most satanic World Cup ever. Look at the flag, the Jewish sun, and the ruling Masonic organization. The more I look at what's happening in the world, the more I feel like we're living through a massive social and psychological experiment. An experiment to see how much people are willing to endure before they finally break, if they ever do. Every day brings a new scandal, a new distraction, another double standard, another deception, another lie, another psyop. Yet we're all expected to keep working, pay our bills, and pretend that all of this is normal. I believe Satan is trying to break the will of as many people as possible and drag them down with him. The more wisdom and understanding a person has, the more they suffer. I believe God has allowed Satan to make this world so difficult in order to separate the wheat from the chaff and call people back to him.